Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. You're a very privileged man, Mr. Ambassador of the United States. I think you're representing about the only country that could openly threaten the sovereignty of European nations and still receive a red carpet or a blue carpet treatment here. I mean, yes, you've threatened us with tariffs, you've threatened to take over Greenland, you even now repeated that we should change some of our laws. Now, what I'm particularly interested in is in the national security strategy, you imply that you're very happy with the rise of what you call patriotic forces, but which is basically the far right in Europe. So my question is, has the US, be it through diplomatic missions, be it through intelligence services, stepped up its cooperation with these far-right forces, also in view of their servile attitude towards Washington, since this declaration? First question. Second question. In the first year, let's say, the United States have violated an impressive amount of international law rules. 8 countries, I think, you bombed in a year. You're now preparing to bomb Iran again, apparently. President Trump is saying who should govern Iraq and so on. My question is very simple. Do you consider that the United States are still bound by international law and the UN Charter? Thank you very much.
A lot of the questions related to the relationship between the United States and the EU, and the people upset with comments that were made or the actions that were taken. I want to say I think that the most important questions that I got were, how are we going to repair that? Like, where do we go from here? How can we make this better? How can we get past the difficulties we've experienced? I think there are a number of things I'd like to say. Number one, I think the underlying relationship between the United States and Europe is extremely strong. I think most of us regard ourselves as European because our antecedents are the people who we see in our past all came from Europe. Personally, my entire background is European, as is my wife's. And not everybody in the United States has a European background, but I think our country was established on principles, many of which were developed in Europe and which we expounded on further in the United States. We're about to celebrate our 250th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence this coming July, and something we're very proud of, and there's going to be a big celebration. I hope you'll all come. But many of the ideas in there came from Europe, from European scholars and thinkers. This is something we respect. This is something we know. I think getting through these agreements will be important. I was asked, how can we know that the United States is going to abide by its commitments on trade? And I will tell you that, number one, we are already abiding by our commitments on trade. We have done everything we said we would do in the framework trade agreement, and we did it within a month of signing the document. Now, what has Europe done since then? Really nothing. And I understand it's due to the process. We all understand that there's a process to get through this, but the reduction of tariffs on cars to 15% for my German friends, or the reduction of tariffs on airplanes, airplane parts, generic drugs, resources that we don't have, natural resources that we don't have, such as cork, those are all taken down to zero. I mean, we've done under the agreement what we said we would do, and we have not stopped doing any of that despite what rhetoric has gone on over the past few months. All of those tariffs and agreements are still in place. I think it will be a huge advancement in the relationship if we can get this trade agreement confirmed, if we can get the mandate out of Parliament. We now, of course, as you know, the Commission has negotiated and approved it. The Council has issued its mandate, and if we can get our mandate from Parliament, I think that will make a big difference. And Mr. Šefčovič, Commissioner Šefčovič, and our Ambassador Greer and our Commerce Secretary Lutnick can get to work on trying to come up with a more particular agreement. But I think right after we get the mandate, and maybe you have to go through a trilogue procedure, I get that too. But once we get that done, I think we're going to be able to make real progress, and that will put a lot of concerns on the back burner. I mean, I think in general that pretty much covers what I was asked. Like I say, some of the questions I just can't respond to. Not that I wouldn't like to, but it would just be my opinion, and I would hate for my opinion to have a negative influence on policy, and which is not within my remit, as that term is used in diplomatic circles.